What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more acid-trance, and we're back with some more of the master, Pablo Gargano. Those of you who know me, and going back to my old channel when I was just doing DJ mixes for like a decade, you'll know this is one of my favorite music producers in life. You know, I don't even need to specify for acid-trance or whatever. But it excites me because there's been a few people recently who have found an interest in Pablo Gargano, so I want to keep it going. And indeed, I wanted to give a shout out to Tassos on this one. He also is a fan of Pablo Gargano, and he was telling me a couple weeks back that one of his favorite tunes is One Time, a tune that is on the same record as one of my favorite tunes from Pablo, which I've already reacted to, On a Deep Tip. If you don't know the tune, I would definitely check it out. It's just an unbelievable masterpiece. It's, you know, that one and I think Ultimate Frontier. Like, if I want a slightly more emotional Pablo, I would say On a Deep Tip is maybe my absolute favorite from him. If I want a bit more driving, kind of wicked Pablo, I'm going to gravitate to Ultimate Frontier. But this track, One Time, on the same record as On a Deep Tip, is an absolutely fantastic track as well. So yeah, this is Eve 5. You will notice that in the early days of Eve, they had sort of a different color scheme and style. It was sort of white and black, and then I think by like Eve 8 maybe, no, maybe it's like 9 or 10, they switched to the more familiar now, and you know, retrospectively, blue label with the different shades of blue on the record and the sleeve. So yeah, bottom line, this is E5, this is 1996, and you know, Pablo Gargano, one of my favorite producers of all time. 1996, I mentioned it before, arguably the peak year in terms of just the absolute most, you know, on top of it, just, you know, genre on fire sort of year for several different types of music that I follow: acid trance, acid techno, hardcore. So yeah, Pablo Gargano in 1996, you know you're going to get quality. So let's get to it. This is Pablo Gargano, One Time, from Eve number 5, 1996. And shout out again to those of you who have sort of rekindled my excitement in doing Pablo Gargano reactions. 45 or 33? What we got? What we got, mate? 45 is what we have. Sort of austere, suspenseful intro, and then that bass line. Hello. An ascendant acid gurgle. Go on, do tell. And then also the
when violence becomes more powerful than justice.
It feels way too of the moment. Just needling, like, tightly wound acid line. Not without a flair, of course. Again, after an 8, he brings in the clap. He doesn't bring in the clap at that big measure break. He brings in 8 later. Like, I love the eccentricity, the rhythmic eccentricity of his productions. And now we're big. Now we got the cymbal smashing. The bass line has kind of permeated the whole track. Now the acid's flying up, it's flaring up like every line. Like staccato, like buzzing melody. This acid work is just ridiculous. It's like, it's kind of a frantic melody, but there's a lot of emotion like embedded in it. Oh, I love that slide into that clap drop. got that high, like, electric acid line doubling kind of the lower, like bass style acid. And all the percussion switches, every 16, every measure. Drums in there too. Like wood percussive, like rattle.
When violence becomes more powerful than justice.
All too real.
When violence becomes more powerful than justice. And fear becomes more powerful than hope.
I wasn't thinking about the sample in this too when I went to react to it. Hit me right. It's like gives the tune a lot of atmosphere. The switch to that cymbal ride, like forget about it. The acid just whipping away. Oh. That like acid dipped down deep and kind of like refined and like got tight again, went high, and now it's like chirping and you're way up top. Like firework acid streaks.
Violence becomes more powerful than justice.
Of his productions, I can't deal with it. The layered acid. Things. I do these videos. These are tracks I've heard hundreds of times over like 25 years. I come to a new appreciation every time I do one of these videos. Come on. Masterful, like forget about it. And all the while that kind of airy, like almost like ghostly kind of pad melody.
violence becomes more powerful than justice, and fear becomes more powerful than hope.
Again, too real. I just like everything about it. The way it ends, you can use that as the final track in a mix. But if you mixed out into a new track, you know, by the time you get to that outro, you'll be, you know, well into your new track. But all those elements will kind of be just sort of drizzled over your incoming tune. So basically, the composition is brilliant as a work of art, but it's also brilliant as it from a DJ point of view, from like how useful it is as a track. So yeah, it's just an amazing production. Again, I still, like on a deep tip, it's, you know, it's really hard to dislodge that. So to me, it's still maybe second best on this record, but it's like probably the best, second best track that I can think of in that regard. Yeah, it's a really, really good tune. I have always really liked that one a lot, but again, it like, because it's on the same record as one of my absolute favorites from Pablo, it gets outshined a little bit. So maybe like if it was on a different record, it might like stand out to me a little bit more, because it's like, oh well, yeah, that's the reason to have that record. But like in this case, it's like, yeah, it's amazing, but like flip it over and let's talk about that one. So yeah, once again, shout out to Tassos. I remember he mentioned that he's a fan of this one. And again, shout out to all of you who have been taking an interest in Pablo Gargano. It really makes me happy. But yeah, let me know what you think of this one. Lots more Pablo coming, both Telica and I'm going to do some on Metropolitan. Kill That 303. I couldn't find it like conveniently this evening, and I didn't want to spend like 45 minutes looking for it. But Tassos and I were just talking about that one. That one is wicked and brilliant, especially, you know, it's heavy on the acid sound, which you may expect given the phrase Kill That 303. So I'm going to try to do that one next. Do let me know what you think of this. I will see you next time. Peace.